Hello students. So students, we are doing one more experiment of your biology practical. This is experiment number 6 and the name of this experiment is study of water sample for its pH. Okay. So here in today's experiment we are going to determine the pH of different water samples. If you remember the previous experiment, that was experiment number 5, there we studied different types of soil using different soil samples. And here we are using different water samples and checking its pH. So without wasting any time, let us just quickly get on to this experiment. Now the aim of this experiment is to study the pH of various water samples. Okay? And the requirement is you need universal indicator or you can take the pH paper. So any one of them is fine. You need different water samples from different resources like river, lake, sea, pond, well, etc. So here I have taken 3 water samples and I have taken sea water, I have taken pond water and I have taken river water. Okay. You need 3 water samples in 3 separate beakers and you need test tubes. Okay. You need 3 test tubes and this pH chart. So these are the requirements that you need for this experiment. Now, if we speak about the principle of this experiment, first of all, what is pH? pH is defined as the measurement of the level of alkali or acid in any substance. Okay? And in water, when ionization takes place in water, this results in the formation of hydrogen ions and hydroxyl ions. And if there is a change in any one of these concentrations, suppose if there is a change in the concentration of hydrogen ions, this brings a simultaneous change in the concentration of hydroxyl ions as well. Okay? And this change can be decrease in concentration, it can be increase in concentration, anything. And thus altering the condition of the water. And when we say altering the condition of the water, that means making it either acidic, alkaline or neutral. Now the water is said to be acidic when its concentration is with hydrogen ions. That means it is more concentrated with hydrogen ions. And it is said to be basic when it's concentrated with hydroxyl ions. And the quality of water, it keeps on changing and it varies from community to community. And a number of variants are natural difference, which is caused by nature, and some of them are induced by humans. And these differences or these factors, it affects the quality of the water throughout the world. Now, if we speak about the ocean water, the average ocean water pH is about 8.1. And the relationship between the pH and the acidity, this is not direct. Each decrease in 1 pH unit is a 10-fold increase in the acidity. And when we speak about the ocean water, this increase in acidity leads to coastal acidification. Okay? And mainly this acidification is contributed by the human activities. So human activities contributes to the acidification in coastal water. Besides carbon dioxide gas, acid forming compounds which are released into the atmosphere when the fossil fuels are burnt. So when the fossil fuels are burned, these excessive nutrients, this results or this contributes to the acidification of coastal water. But the average ocean pH in a normal condition is preferred to be 8.1. If we speak about river water, the optimum pH for river water is around 7.4. And the acceptable pH range for pond water, it will be 6.5. Or you can say it can be between 6.5 to 9. Now the pH of fresh water, it can fluctuate considerably within daily or seasonal time frames. Now in most of the aquatic environment, there is daily photosynthesis, and this is about equal to daily respiration. Okay, and the pH will usually remain within a range that is tolerated by most of the aquatic animals that are living in this fresh water. Now however, when the plants and the algae, they grow rapidly, there is more carbon dioxide release. Why is there more carbon dioxide release? Because there is more photosynthesis. Okay, so more carbon dioxide is removed each day by the photosynthesis, and then it is added each night by respiration. As the result, the pH may rise abnormally high during the afternoon, and this may even remain same, that it will remain same high in the night as well. And this daily interplay will affect the aquatic animals, and these aquatic animals can even die due to this interplay. Okay, so this is about the principle of this experiment. Now let us quickly get on to the procedure. The procedure is the simplest. You just have to take 10 ml of water sample, each of this water sample in each of the big test tubes. Okay, so you will take 3 test tubes. In each of the test tubes, you have to add 10 ml of different water sample. And then in that you have to add only 5 drops of universal indicator. Okay, so when you're adding universal indicator, you will not use the pH paper, and if you're using the pH paper, you will not use the universal indicator. But to my experience, what I would suggest is universal indicator gives you better results than you get in the pH paper. Okay, so you will take 10 ml of 3 water samples in 3 test tubes, and you will add 5 drops of universal indicator to each of this water sample, and then you have to shake it a little so that it get mixed, and you have to observe the color change. Once you observe the color change, you have to match the color change with this pH paper, pH chart. Okay, and then you have to record the observation. So this is this simple. Now students, let us just get to the working process of this experiment, and you will understand this procedure even better.
So students, let us start with the procedure of the most easiest experiment in your practical syllabus. And in this experiment, we are studying the pH of different water samples. So for this experiment, I have obtained 3 water samples: sea water, this is river water, and pond water. Okay. Other than this, I have taken 3 test tubes for each of the water sample. I have taken the universal indicator to determine the pH, and I have also taken some pH papers. Okay, so we can use either the universal indicator or the pH paper. But to determine the pH, what I feel is universal indicator is more accurate. Okay, so we'll be using mainly universal indicator. Other than this, I have taken a 10 ml measuring cylinder to measure the water sample into the test tube, and I have taken a dropper. So let us start with the process. The first thing that we need to do is take 10 ml of each of this water sample into the test tubes. So what I have done is I have labeled the test tubes as sea water, river water and pond water, and I will pour 10 ml of each of this water sample into its respective test tubes. So first I am pouring the sea water. For that I will first measure 10 ml of the sea water into the measuring cylinder and then pour it in the test tube. Okay, so if you can see over here, this is, I've taken 10 ml of seawater first, and then I will pour it into a test tube that I have labeled as seawater. The same thing I'll be repeating with all the water samples. The river water, first thing I will stir it a little with this dropper. I will use the measuring cylinder to measure 10 ml of this water sample, and I will pour it into the test tube that I have labeled as river water. And the last one is the pond water. Same thing, I'll stir it using the measuring cylinder. I'll take 10 ml of it. And pour it into a test tube which I have labeled as pond water. Okay, so this is done. The next step is that in each of these test tubes we have to add 5 drops of the universal indicator. Okay, so let us add 5 drops of this to each of the test tubes. And I will shake it a little so that it gets mixed up with all of the water. Okay, so this is the color that we have obtained after adding the universal indicator, and now we'll check the pH of all these water samples. So for checking the pH, on the bottle of this universal indicator itself there is this pH chart given. So you have to compare the samples with this chart and then determine the pH. So first I am taking the seawater sample, and if you just keep it besides the bottle and the chart on the bottle, you will see that the pH over here is more towards 7.5 to 8.5. Okay, so we can obtain the pH, or we can determine the pH as 7.5 or 8.5. I will be attaching the pictures in the next slide. Okay, so this is seawater. Then if I take river water, the river water is more towards pH 7, correct? It is lighter, the color is lighter than what we have obtained for seawater. And then the pond water is much darker, and this ranges to, I guess, 8.5. Okay, so that's it for this experiment. We have to obtain the water samples, add universal indicator to the water sample, and then check the pH.
Okay, so after performing this experiment, we have again obtained 3 different observations. This is the observation for seawater, where the pH, it is matching this color, and the pH is about 7.5. Okay. Then for the river water, the pH is 7. Okay, if you see this color is similar. So the pH is 7, which is neutral. And over here, the pond water, the pH is about 8.5. Okay, so these are the three observations. On the basis of these three observations, you have to make this observation table. So in the observation table, there is the three different water samples, the pH, and depending upon the pH, you have to determine the nature of the water. So if we take the sea water, the pH was 7.5, and so the nature of the sea water is alkaline. Okay, and when we spoke about the principle, the expected range of the sea water pH is 8.1. Okay, so what we have got is 7.5. That means this sea water is going, it is slowly getting acidic. It is going towards acidic condition. Okay. Then if we speak about the river water, the pH that we have obtained is 7, which is neutral. And pond water, the pH is 8.5, where the optimum pH for pond water is about in between 6.4 to 9. So this is within range. So according to this pH, this is the nature of the different water samples that we had obtained. Okay. So this is the observation table, and the result is you have to write three different results for three different water samples. The pH and the nature of the given water samples are as follows. Sea water, the pH was 7.5 and so it is alkaline. River water, 7, it is neutral. Pond water, it is 8.5 and it is alkaline again. And with this, we can conclude this experiment as that the pH of the water, it is an indicator of the impurities in the water. Okay, pure water has a neutral pH of 7 that we have obtained for river water. If the pH is less than 7, it indicates acidic nature, and if the pH is more than 7, it indicates the alkaline nature. So students, with this, we finish all the experiments, the working experiments of your biology practicals, and from the next session onwards, we will be starting with the spottings of your practicals.